What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD coming at you with another video. And once again, we're talking about tokenism and tokens in Marvel Comics. Now, I don't have a lot of experience reading DC Comics. I've read a handful here and there, so I don't have a lot of knowledge as far as DC Comics goes. But as far as Marvel Comics goes, I have a ton, an encyclopedia of knowledge in my brain. So I'm going to present to you 3 actual token characters from Marvel Comics. Now, before we get into that, before we, show you who these characters are, we got to really, hammer in what a token character is. So I think we could boil it down to having 2 simple points. The first being they were created to push diversity. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean it is a character created to represent a minority group in some capacity. So you would think of a non-white character, a non-male character, non-straight character, something along that lines. Whatever the majority is, something that is in the minority being created specifically for that purpose. So it needs to have that in order to be considered a token. Now, the second point is that it has to be a throwaway character. That means something in the background, a character that has no prominence, a character that is largely forgotten, created and then just never really talked about again. That's would qualify it as a token character. So we're going to look at 3 of these right now. Now, the first, as you can see on your screen, is a character named Talisman. He's from Australia, Earth 616, the main Marvel Universe. Now, you can't really tell. I mean, they don't specifically point it out in the comic, but it's kind of assumed that Talisman is a native Australian, an aborigine, if you will. Some of his powers come from the Dreamtime, and he was created specifically as part of the Contest of Champions 1982 comic in order to represent different countries around the world. They had characters from South America, characters from France, Germany, Australia, China, different countries, because the book was originally meant to be a celebration of the Olympics. However, the Olympics that took place prior to this book's publication was the infamous Soviet Union Olympics, the one that the U.S. boycotted. And so Marvel Comics decided to retool the comic, remove the Olympic angle and create this new story around it. So that's why there's a lot of characters from different countries, because they were trying to push the diversity, trying to create characters specifically to represent those nations. Now, as you can see, this handy Marvel database shows every appearance, mention of every character. So between June 1982, and today, there's only been 7 appearances of Talisman. And as you can see, he is still alive. So the character is not dead. It wasn't like he was created, had a couple of adventures, died, and that's why he doesn't appear no more. No. He is still alive. However, he's only had 7 appearances in the last, almost 40 years. 39 years. 7 appearances. Token character. Created specifically for diversity. Created specifically to represent a certain group of people. And, once he had his little prominence in his one issue, then it was tossed aside, was never really thought of again. 7 appearances total. Now, this man here, Gabriel Cepul Veda, Defensor, was also created in the 1982 Contest of Champions. Now, unfortunately, he is dead. He died in 1985 August. So he only had about 13-year run in the comics. However, if we go down here, you can see he only had 5 appearances and 1 mention. In 13 years, this character appeared 5 times and then was mentioned once. Not appearing, but just mentioned offhand. Token character. He is a South American character created specifically to represent, I believe, Brazil. I don't want to... Let's see. Origin. Here we go. I believe it was Brazil. It says South America. It doesn't really specify. But I believe if you read the comic, it might be Brazil. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it is definitely a South American character to represent the Latinos for Marvel Comics. But only got 5 appearances. Threw him away. Sayonara, see you later. Now the last character we're going to be looking at is Arabian Night, the OPEC version. There has been 3 versions of this character, but this one specifically was created in 2006. So 14 years, or 15 years rather. As we can see, he is currently alive in the Earth 616 main reality. He has 2 appearances. 2. He was created, made an appearance in 2 comics, and then never shown up again. And like I said, he was created in June 2006. 15 years, thereabouts, and he's only had 2 appearances. And this specific version was created to make a Arabian character who was going to try to spread the Nation of Islam, Muslim religion into Wakanda. That was his backstory. That was his whole purpose in the comic. He's still alive. 2 appearances. Total token character. And as you can see, each one of them fitted our little criteria here. Created to push diversity. Throwaway characters. But I just wanted to give you a little history lesson, a little treat. Show you some characters that do actually fit the dictionary definition of token and tokenism. Thank you for watching the video. As always, love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.